My name is David Smith. I am the President and Chief Executive Officer of Aptelios Incorporated. We're located in beautiful Bucks County, which is slightly northwest of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we are a fiber optic intrusion detection system company. We use fiber optic cable as a sensor to do very long running perimeters. And we give a very localized indication of somebody intruding over a fence or a wall or a buried location that would go around a structured high critical facility. Any critical infrastructure, typically it would be a military base, a port where military ships come in and debark cargo or people, airfields, and in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, of course there are military bases where soldiers are housed and they operate out of. And this particular point of time where troops are actually debarking out of Afghanistan and Kuwait and Iraq, there are actually a lot of infrastructure being left behind that was previously guarded by a soldier with a gun and now has to be done with some type of perimeter system. So we feel that from this point going forward, the military side of the perimeter intrusion detection industry is going to be increasing and growing because of the fact that, especially in the Middle East, there's just going to be more of a need for protecting critical infrastructure. Yeah, since taking over the company as the Chief Executive Officer, I put a very aggressive global outreach program in place. And we are currently selling or doing business development in Mexico, South America, Central America, Africa, and India. And probably one of the primary targets of our business because of the, again, unprotected infrastructure all over the Middle East. It's becoming a very focused and targeted area of our business development. Well, border security is becoming a growth area in the industry and for Aptelios, primarily because we have continued our research and development in our buried system, and it is a covert system. It's buried about a foot under the surface, and since we are what we call a long-running fiber optic company, we do very, very long distances, 20, 25 miles, so our technology lends itself very nicely to have a covert buried system at the border that is very accurate with picking up people that are, or vehicles that are crossing over the border. So we feel the technology has a very positive place in the future with regard to border security, not only in the United States, but in global regions as well. The basis of our technology really is using a very typical fiber optic cable. And there's some characteristics of fiber optic cable that a lot of people don't know about. It's very sensitive to vibration, to strain, and to changes in temperature. So it's very, very simple in that we will attach a fiber optic cable, very long running again, to a fence or to a wall or bury it in our buried system. And it's very sensitive to vibration. And in the case of our wall product, we put it underneath a formed cap. And if anybody puts any weight on top of the cap, it actually picks up the strain and gives a very clear, concise, and localized alert as to where that event is taking place. It's a very simple technology. The way that we actually process the data is very, very complex. That involves fiber optic polarization and unpolarizing the light, but the concept is very simplistic. Well, with regard to our customers, it's very difficult for me to actually name specific customers, and very much of late, many of our customers have flatly told us that they want to keep their particular security systems classified. However, domestically, we do work with nuclear power plants, water treatment plants, petrochemical storage facilities, and as a result of CFATS, which is a Department of Homeland Security regulation that has dictated that chemical processing or manufacturing plants that process at a certain level of toxicity have to not only have a fence, they also have to have an intrusion detection system. So our system, again, because it's very long running, lended itself very nicely to meet those requirements. There's also various opportunities to do military bases and military command establishments all over the United States. And again, I'm not at liberty to be able to discuss particular locations or bases. However, we do get involved quite a lot supporting those type of customers. Most of the airports in the United States, really around the world, have concentrated on what security is necessary to sort of button down the terminal. And as you can probably remember in recent news, they had a vehicle intrusion at the Boston International Airport. We just recently had one at the Philadelphia International Airport, where somebody literally drove through the perimeter fence and found their way on the airport grounds in the same vicinity where airplanes were taxiing around. And it's just an indication that typically across the board, airports in general, at the perimeter level, are very unsecured. And we feel that is going to be an area that as DHS and the FAA begins to analyze, now that they move out of the terminal, you know, where's the next point of security defense that needs to be put in place? And in most airports, it's certainly going to be the perimeter. But we have really taken most of our products to what we call the second generation. We continually do research and development and what we call technology refresh. And with that, we have patented a very special part of our technology, which is self-healing or cut immune. And because we pass light in both directions, we're able to keep our system fully operable once the cable's been cut. If it's cut in two places, we only lose sensing capability between the two cuts. And along with that, we also have the capability of sensing simultaneous alerts. So if you have multiple intrusions at one perimeter at the same time, sort of tactically oriented, we'll be able to pick up all of those intrusions and give an indication of each one of them. And that really is a product of our continued technology refresh to our products in general. The security industry in general is starting to focus more and more on the perimeter. After 9/11, many people went out and bought what we call subsystems. They got involved in a lot of gizmos and gadgets that were hard to maintain, that were very complex to use on a very long period of time. And we're finding that across the industry, people are looking for two things. They're looking for simplicity, and they're looking for an early warning with enough time to actually take action and alleviate whatever the threat is. And we're finding that our product lines, because we are actually on the perimeter, give a very localized and excellent location of an event, and we are far enough out so that any type of tactical intrusion on a facility is known well in advance so that action can be taken to alleviate any threat. And we're finding that as we get more and more involved with international customers, that our products are very much in line with the current thinking in how to approach security for a very high-valued infrastructure.